It's your host, Holly, and it's time for a little teaser talk. Before we jump into today's episode, quick roll call. Who's heading to Welcome to Rockville this year? If you guys see me running around doing interviews, come say hi. You guys have got to check this out.
Welcome to Rockville. Returns to Daytona International Speedway May 7th through 10th with Foo Fighters, My Chemical Romance, Guns N' Roses, and Bring Me the Horizon. Plus, Turnstile, Five Finger Death Punch, The Offspring, Breaking Benjamin, A Day to Remember, Godsmack, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville, May 7th through 10th. Passes on sale now for as low as $1 down at welcometorockville.com.
Pretty wicked lineup, am I right? I hope to see you there. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Teaser Talk. Today we've got a returning guest. The last time he was on with us was back in 2021. And I've been trying since then to get him back on. Just kidding. Actually, it's been a minute though. I've been trying since November to wrangle today's guest and lock him in for today. He is the bassist of one of the most iconic bands to come out in the early 2000 emo scene. If you guys have been living underneath a rock and you don't know who The Used is, well then just go ahead and hit exit out of this podcast because there's no use to be even listening anymore. Just kidding, you guys. But anyways, so The Used have been busy lately, headlining Emo's Not Dead cruise, continuing to tour the world. They just dropped a massive announcement that they'll be sharing a stage with My Chemical Romance on October 30th, which honestly feels like a full circle moment for a lot of us who grew up in that era. So with that long-winded intro, I am very excited to catch up and see what life looks like these days inside the world of The Used. Welcome back to Teaser Talk, Jeff. How are you?
Good. Thanks for that wonderful intro. That was really nice.
I know. I was like, man, I'm like out of breath now. That was a lot. So yeah, the last time you were on the podcast was 2021, and a lot has happened since. You guys have dropped 2 whole albums since then, lots of touring. Yeah. When you look back the last few years for The Used, what moments kind of stand out that we need to catch up on?
The last few years, let's see. I guess last year we did the 25 years of being The Used tour, which was long. It was about 6 months of touring all over the world. We did crazy. I mean, we'll circle back to this later on, but we did a month and a half in Australia, which is a crazy amount of time to be in Australia, you know, especially, well, Bert lives there. That's a different story, but yeah, with 3 shows, playing the first, second, third record, sometimes double nights, which would be 6 shows in certain cities, which is wild. It was incredible. I mean, being able to revisit those songs and revisit those records again was just, you know, something we can't do all the time. So it was magic for us too, you know.
I can't believe it's been 25 years. That's crazy insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So when you're this deep into the band's career, I mean, like, again, 25 years, that's crazy. The definition of success tends to evolve. What does success look like for The Used in 2026 compared to what it meant the early days of early 2000s?
Yeah, we were just excited to play Warped Tour back in the day. That would, you know, that'd be a huge jump just to play Warped Tour. Or this thing that was in our city where we grew up in Utah. It's called the Big Ass Show. And that was the same. It was kind of like a Warped Tour festival vibe, you know. We're so excited just to be able to play that. You know, either of those would be just amazing. Now, 2026, this is the most important thing that The Used has ever been able to do. It's coming up, and we're playing the Sydney Opera House with like a full choir, full orchestra, like full strings, full everything. It's going to be the number one most incredible thing that we've ever done as The Used. I'm really excited, actually.
That's crazy how you go from, like, and don't get me wrong, Warped Tour is huge. It was huge then. It is still huge. But like to see that evolution, I'm excited for you guys. Congratulations.
Sydney, thank you. I'm so excited. I can't even get out enough like excitement. It's pretty incredible. I mean, you'd be able to play a lot of these songs in front of, like, you know, symphonies and stuff like that. And these people are like professionals at all, you know. We're all professional musicians, I guess, in a way, but
I was like, what are you guys not professional?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? These guys are like, the Sydney Opera House is so world famous, you know, it's such an important and like incredible thing. It's really excited to be there.
That's awesome. Well, you guys just came back this year from Emo's Not Dead cruise, which looked absolutely wild from the outside. What was the energy like during the cruise? How was it, especially being on a ship with a bunch of emo kids? How was all
Yeah.
that?
So I have really bad anxiety that comes on randomly for random things, and being stuck on a boat with a bunch of people that I don't know that know me kind of hits that pretty hard. You know what I mean? Which is totally cool.
Yeah.
I get it. It's all cool. So I didn't leave my room too much, but my room was great actually. It looked a lot of fun. The shows were great. We played really fun. We played three complete different set lists. You know, some old songs that we didn't even play on the 3 record tour, you know, the 25-year tour. Some like B-side stuff, some stuff off of artwork that we rarely play, you know.
Mhm.
So for us, it was just as fun as for the diehard fans that wanted to see that stuff, you know. So being able to go and see the Used play 3 full, completely different sets, you know, without having to go anywhere was really exciting.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that at least your room was nice and spacey and comfortable.
Room was great, actually, but
That's so funny. Like I went to a cruise. The best thing I got was a bedroom. Like that should be a shirt or something like that. I don't know.
should be. It was really cozy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they give you the posh rooms because they're trying to separate you and put you in those, like, we get the upper floor, and so it's just band guys, and so we know everybody that's up there, which
Yeah.
oddly gives me really bad anxiety for that kind of thing, which doesn't make any sense. They're all my friends, but I still get anxiety from that, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hotel rooms are, compared to the crew, because the crew would show us their rooms and they were like tiny compared to ours, and I felt really bad about that. But
Well,
it's fine.
well, I'm glad you made it back to solid ground and you guys are back at it. And I will say one thing I've always appreciated about the Used is the band is like you've never seemed to be repeating the same record over and over again as far as like sound and creativeness goes. How do you guys keep that creative spark alive after so many years?
We're best friends. Bert is one of the most incredible humans I've ever met. Same with Dan. I mean, you know, it's I've known them for so long, you know. I mean, I legit think I hang out with Dan more than anybody that I know, period. Like me and him, we're both vegans. We eat together, always on tour. You know what I mean? And this is circling around to make a point here is that we're not just in a band together. Like we legit care about each other. We legit care what each other's doing. And we text each other all the time and see what, you know, when we're not on tour, seeing what's going on. Me and Bert text about games because he plays video games too. And we're like, oh, what are you playing right now? You know, like chat about it and stuff. But then we get to jam, we get to come together. Then we're like friends first, you know, band second. Yeah. Which sort of works out longevity wise because we get excited to hang out with each other on tour. Like we care about each other, and we're not gonna do anything that's gonna screw each other over. You know what I mean? Because we're not thinking about like, you know, there's no ulterior motives. Like we care. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's super important. I think too, it's like the bond outside of just the business.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So
I'm sorry. It's not as bad when we have like, so if when we're recording, when we're writing, if we're like, hey, that part's not that cool, can we do something else? It's a little easier, I think, to do it because we know it's coming from a place of like care and not from ego. Yeah. You know, so we're trying to get the song better. We're not trying to get our part better.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure we chatted about that on the podcast episode that you were in previously, was about like that kind of that ego, you know, checking the ego at the door. And at the end of the day, it's for the band's benefit. You know, it's not just one individual band member.
Totally.
100%. Well, the early 2000 emo scene was such a lightning in a bottle movement culturally. Looking back now, do you think anyone inside the scene realized just how big that era would become years later?
Definitely not. I mean, we were just trying to get by back then, you know, show to show and make it to the next show, if anything, you know. And so when we all started somewhat getting bigger, all the bands, you know, it was exciting, but it's like hard to picture the difference between like, you know, or those like massive arena bands, you know, where Mike Hem's at, you know, like playing those kind of shows, or like, you know, just playing like house parties or something. You know, it's kind of hard to picture it. It's very, you know, it came very quick, I guess, but it's so exciting.
That is super exciting. Okay, so we have to talk about your guys' huge announcement you made last year. So you guys are playing October 30th with My Chemical Romance. And when that opportunity came up, I'm curious, what was the first reaction inside the band?
Oh, we've been talking about it for years. As far as having them wanting to do it, there was slight talk about at some point in time we'd play together. You know, we've always been cool with them. There was a lot of internet beef that was kind of a joke, but it's also funny, like trolling everyone, making them think that we hate each other. And there was a moment in time that there was some kind of tiff and issue between Bert and stuff, but that was it was so old that it just became a joke. At least in our half, it became a joke. You know, so we never took it serious. We're not serious most of the time. Actually, you probably realize that with a lot of interviews. Half the shit's kind of a joke. And, yeah. So, but for it finally coming together is really exciting. I mean, I've ran into Frankie a couple times. It's cool to see him. The rest of the guys I haven't really seen. So it'll be cool to connect again. I talked to him pretty recently, just a little bit, like text or whatnot. But it's exciting to see them again and be able to hang out for a minute and, you know, play a show again. That'd be great too.
I love that. Yeah, they definitely, I say they as like these imaginary like music people that were like puppet masters, but I feel like we were pinned, like as an emo kid, we were pinned against each other. Like we had to choose a team. It was either Team The Used or Team My Chemical Romance, which I'm not gonna lie, like I love both bands, but I was always
it's all good.
Yeah, but I was always Team The Used. So I feel I feel like my parents are back together or something.
That's funny. It's funny because honestly, the issues that we had didn't last very long. Bert's issue with whatever Bert got a fight, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. It wasn't that big of a deal, and it didn't last that long. But I think the trolling lasted longer than the actual issue.
Definitely did.
Which is funny. And also the joke of that lasted longer too. So it made it look like it probably is worse than it ever was. But it's cool to have the full circle moment. It'd be cool to see those guys. It'd be cool to play with them again. I'm not sure what set we're going to play. It's so long away, but.
Yeah. I'm super excited. You know, I was actually looking at it and it's already like sold out. I'm sure it's been sold out for a month, but.
I think it's sold out in like a couple minutes, like that show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was looking at it probably, like a week after you guys had announced it, I didn't see it available. And then I was like looking back just in case you guys released extra tickets. But yeah, everything is still solid sold out. So of course the fans are excited as well.
It's really cool. Lately, though, my head has only been in that opera house show. That's all I've been doing. We have not to change subjects, but to keep the subject going. So. Since it's like symphony and since it's like some of it's going to be reimagined, you know, there's choir, like I was saying, some of it's going to be reimagined. So I'm getting like tracks of what the symphony and choir is going to be doing. And so we're trying to reimagine how the songs are going to play live. I don't even have all the songs yet. I think I have about 10 out of the, I can't remember the total amount we're doing, but so I'm trying to relearn. That's all I've been doing lately. Well, obviously, since we couldn't chat, I've been driving.
Yeah.
Which I didn't tell you about that. I drove. So I've driven from. I live in California, as you can tell. So I drove from California to. I don't know if that's what California is supposed to look like, but.
Yeah, I feel like I was
big.
Yeah, like California is very big. I was in California, like, you know, obviously think San Diego, LA, like concrete. So like.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
California is massive, so it's I'm about 10 to 12 hours away from LA.
Wow.
So it's a really big state. But I drove from here to New Mexico, almost Texas. It was like a 40-hour drive. Yeah, and then I drove back, and then I drove to Portland. And then I was in Portland's about 11 hours from here. So I drove back and forth pretty much all the way across. So I've driven about 60 hours in the past like 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe less than that actually. Last time we talked.
What spurred all of this driving? What was like, did you see anything cool?
Yeah, I've done it before. I drove all the way across. I mean, obviously we tour a lot, so I've driven everywhere, but I drove across me and my wife, we drove across we moved to New York for about 6 months. and drove it all the way across the U.S. and then back.
Wow.
It was 6 months later, which is, it's a lot. Well, it was like right before tour too. I had 3 weeks until I was leaving for tour, and we drove back from New York to California with like a week and a half before I had to fly, just kind of taking it easy, but still kind of pushing it. But just wanted to check out some things. We just drove down we're going to go check Texas out, like some areas in Texas just to see it right now, but gave up on our way to New Mexico and turned back around.
No, you guys are so close.
Yeah. I've been to Texas before. It wasn't a big deal. Just
that's so funny.
Portland's great though. Portland has great food. Really good food. It's just overcast all the time. Nice people. Yeah.
I love that.
Overcast.
So, as you're preparing, I know you said that you're going through like at least the 10 of the songs that you guys have. What, preparing for such a monumental, show in your life, what is different preparing for this versus, a typical tour or show?
Yeah, thanks for wrangling back in, actually. But perfect. So it's different because, like when you play live, sometimes you have like parts on tracks, like you'll have like symphony parts, whatever, just to make the songs feel a little bit bigger and a little more like the recordings were, you know what I mean? And so it's not just as bland. So we'll have like some kind of symphony part, some like little sprinkles that play through that aren't really a big deal. But this we're having, like the choir is going to have to learn their parts and the symphony is going to have to learn their parts. And so then for that to happen, though, we need to be able to jam with them. And so we have an in-between guy that's helping sort of conduct the symphony parts, you know what I mean? So we can kind of merge into it because it's not going to be the same as the record. It's going to be a little more reimagined, which is extra cool. This is like I said before, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Like if I could say go to one U show, I would say go to this show. And I know it's Australia, so not everyone on earth is going to be able to, number one, get there, let alone afford to fly to Australia just to go to this show in Sydney. And I think the tickets are crazy. They're really expensive, but it's because it's the opera house. They charge, whatever they charge.
Yeah.
But being able to relearn these songs and jam through this and try to figure out, like, how am I going to play it the same? Am I going to play it a little bit different? You know what I mean? And this is all trying to figure this out before we even get together, because we're not even going to rehearse these songs until we get to Australia. So I'm leaving sometime on the 19th. And then after that, I'm going to have a couple days jet lagged to try to jam with everyone and figure it out. And then the symphony is going to come in with us and they're going to play their parts. And then we have this guy that comes with us that's like, he's going to be sort of the middleman between it all. And he's going to make sure all of us are on track because it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's like all the different string players and woodwinds, whatever else is going on in the symphony, like all of them to be on track with what we're doing. It's a headache sort of to think about. So that's why I've been doing nothing but, besides driving, I've been doing nothing but trying to jam through these records and jam through the like digital version of what we think they're going to be playing.
That's intense. I mean, it's a whole like production, right? Like it's
full production. Even like the backdrops, even the in between song stuff. Like there's like outfits that we're going to be wearing. Like this is like a once in a lifetime use moment for any Alter Use fan. If you can get to Australia.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, for those who can't make it, we'll definitely be tuning in. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of streaming or some kind of replay that you guys would release. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely not streaming. I don't know what's going to happen yet. There's word on the street. It's going to be recorded, but recording and saying it live it's going to be
completely different.
It's going to be degraded, which is so sad. Even the merch we got. Oh man, I've been working on the merch for like a little bit now, and I'm really excited about this merch. It's really special.
I love it. Well, that's super exciting. I can't wait to see more updates and how all that comes through. So when you think about the legacy of the Used at this point, what do you hope people say about the band years down the road?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. It's hard being on the inside and looking out, I just, same thing as anything. I just see flaws. All I see is flaws. And so I'm not a perfectionist, but I want I'm never going to be good enough. That's just how it goes. That's how everybody feels, right? Like you're always trying to be better at something, or you look at like your mistakes and you think about mistakes more than you think about the good parts that you've done, And so touring and playing these shows, and I know I've talked to Dan, our drummer, about this too before. It's just trying to make sure what you're playing sounds good and feels good and vibes good. And I don't know. It's tough. I guess it's hard for me to get out of that and let people be okay with the songs as they remember them and they want them to be. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing it from my point of view of being like, oof, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I did it this way, But that's also what live is for, because I think playing live is so different from, recording, because they're both equally as important and they're both equally cool. But they're so different sometimes, and we play things different live. Not as much that maybe everyone noticed unless you're a musician, but I play a lot of our songs completely different. Sometimes I just make it up on the fly, but a lot like Dan will play something a little bit different. I'll kind of stick to him, or I'll add melodies that didn't exist before. All the bass parts will be totally different, but bass is also bass. Not a lot of people like focus on it like I do, But for me, that is the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
You what?
I was going to say, I think a lot more people focus on bass than what you probably imagine. But yeah, that's awesome. It definitely no pressure, but lots. All right. Well, this is Teaser Talk. So we always love to end the show with a teaser cliffhanger. What can we tease fans with about to expect from you guys in 2026?
2026, we're going to lay low, but we are working on a record.
Nice.
It hasn't actually started yet. Well, it has started. I take that back. We've started writing. We just haven't got together yet to sort of record or sort of pass the writing into like song material, Like there's about 20 to 30 ish ideas that we're kind of just sitting on and kind of spinning with, But yeah, sorry, my dog's fucking with me a little bit. Yeah, so which is really exciting. So that should be...
That's a big cliffhanger. It's a big teaser to leave with everyone to anticipate is some new music coming.
Yeah, next year, maybe. Next year.
Very cool. Well, Jeff, seriously, thank you for coming back on Teaser Talk. It's always great catching up with you, and congrats on all the big things you guys got going on. It's always exciting to see like how far, I say we come, like I'm part of the band, but as far as the music.
Hey, you care, you're part of it. That's what I'm saying. It's that same thing I've said before, art is it's 50% the artist and 50% the viewer. And so, all the care and positivity and love is just as important as the songs. Absolutely.
That is very well said. Well, for everyone tuning in, make sure you guys keep up with the used. Grab tickets because as soon as they come out, they go fast, as you guys see. Oh my gosh, look at your baby.
Sorry, I had to do that before I left. He wanted to say hi.
I love it. I love it. I love the guest appearance. Well, Jeff, again, thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate you and everyone tuning in. Make sure you follow these guys, keep up with them. And as soon as tickets go on sale, make sure you grab them because as you guys have experienced, they sell out within minutes of being dropped. Jeff, I appreciate you. Safe travels on everything. And I can't wait to see all the things you guys are doing this year.
Thanks again. I really appreciate you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Teaser Talk. Head over to teasertalk.com to subscribe so you don't miss out on another episode. Until next week, keep rocking.